Welcome to another episode of Beyond Organised. I have the lovely Michelle Caris here, and I'll give you a quick rundown as to who she is. So, Michelle is an IPSP certified pediatric sleep consultant and fellow parent who understands the exhaustion and overwhelm that comes with sleep struggles. Combining professional training in the science of infant and child sleep with real life parenting experience, Michelle helps families reclaim peaceful nights and well rested days through evidence based personalized support. Her compassionate, practical approach meets parents where they are at, creating sleep plans that honor each child's needs, respects parenting values, and fit into real life. Michelle's mission is simple: to guide families out of the fog of sleep deprivation and into a season of rest, confidence, and connection. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you, Mel.
Oh, you have no idea how much I need you right now in this season of my life. I think, where have you been?
Well, I'm here
Oh,
now. I'm happy to help.
yeah. Oh, believe me, I've got a few questions of my own to be asking here. But for the listeners, can you give us a bit of background as to what inspired you to become the pediatric sleep consultant?
Yeah, for sure. I'll try and make it like sort of brief, but a couple years ago, I actually got my health coaching certification. I kind of have a
Mm,
passion for the wellness space, but definitely not, aligned with my day job. And then COVID
yeah.
happened and I had a baby, so that kind of trickled off. And then my sister actually has recently become a birth
Mm.
and postpartum doula, and started working with a women's perinatal wellness center here near me in Michigan. It's called Whole Mama Michigan, so shout out to them. And she kind of roped me into that space. And
Cool.
at the time, I have a 3-year-old now, and
Mm,
I just
fun.
really felt in my heart like I wanted to spend more time with her.
Yeah.
I have a really long commute, I work, full time job, and just really was, tugging at me that I wasn't seeing her as much as I wanted to. And
Yeah.
also I still had that pull towards, the wellness space and supporting moms and parents. So I kind of thought to myself, what what could I do that would provide support for moms and also maybe allow me to go like part-time with my day job. So I still
Mm,
enjoy what I do, but would it allow me to spend a little bit more time with my daughter. And I
yeah.
thought to myself, what was some of the hardest parts of my parenting journey so far? And I said, sleep. We had a rough go with sleep.
Preach it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've started learning through working with my sister in this other organization that there are so many resources out there for parents that, people just don't know about.
Mhm.
Um, it, mental health specialists and, doulas. I didn't know what a doula was before my sister became one.
Mm.
All sorts of things. And so I thought, I really want to use this opportunity to support moms and help them help their little ones sleep so that they can be, the best version of themselves and the best parents that they want to
Yes.
be. So that's
Oh.
kind of what got me to where I am now.
That is so good. Oh, honestly, you are probably every woman's dream person in the first few years of a newborn life. It is so hard when it comes to sleep. And just to throw a little of my life in there, my first
Mhm.
three were really good sleepers. They slept through from around 4 or 5 months. And I
That's pretty
I
good.
sort of did all the right things, I put them down when they were not quite asleep yet, and they would get themselves asleep, and it was great. It was great. And then my fourth came along, and he did not read the manual. And he's just turned 1, and only really in the last week or so, he's having some more nights now where he's sleeping through, but I'm still getting up most nights, 2, 3, 4 a.m., giving him a feed, putting him back down, settling him again, all of that. And he's
Mhm.
1, and I didn't have to deal with that with the others. And I'm sure there are mums out there that go, "Oh, boo-hoo, my kid's 2 or 3 and still have to deal with that." But it is so I guess I didn't appreciate what some parents went through when it came to having issues with their child sleeping because I was so blessed with my first 3. And it's like, it's almost like, God, when you need to experience this so you know what other women
You
have
can
to go through.
empathize.
You've had it too easy. So, yeah. Anyway, you are, I'm sure, a breath of fresh air for most parents. So, how do you mainly help people? What is your main methods or ways of going about helping these
Yeah.
parents?
Yeah, so I'll explain the process a little bit and then I'll explain kind of the methodology that I use. So,
Great.
process would be you would book a 15-minute free call with me, tell me what's going on, get a sense to kind of know each other and if we think it's a good fit, I will send an intake form to learn all the things about you and your baby, your parenting style, your baby's personality, how old they are, what you're struggling with and I'll put
Yeah.
together a personalized, customized, just for you sleep plan that goes through all the things sleep environment, daytime schedule, nighttime, what to do when they wake up, how to put them down, all the things. And
Wow.
then I work with parents for up to 2 weeks, daily touch points, answering questions, tweaking schedules, troubleshooting, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the process.
Great.
And then as far as methodology goes, one thing that I'm really trying to do is kind of change the narrative around sleep training because a lot of parents, when they hear sleep training, they think, okay, I put my baby down and they just have to cry for hours until they eventually get exhausted and fall asleep.
Mm,
And
yeah,
eh,
it's tough.
yes, that's a method, but there are so many others, and that is not the
Yeah.
direction that I tend to go in. Um, you
Nobody
know,
feels good.
yeah,
Nobody
nobody
feels
feels
good
good.
hearing
Baby
the
doesn't feel
baby
good,
cry.
mom doesn't feel
I know.
good.
It's
Yeah, it's
hard.
hard, it's
There are some
hard.
moments, but where I've had to let it
Yeah,
happen, but, not for
and
too
that's
long.
okay. Yeah, yeah, and that's okay, and honestly, I pick based on parents' comfort levels around crying too, and baby's
Mm,
age because I mean, there's a method called shush pat where you literally stand next to your baby in the crib and you're there for them. You're present and you're, shushing them, you're
mm,
patting them on the back or the belly and comforting them. Which works really good with younger babies and it's like a
mm.
very parent present approach. And then there's a method called the chair method where you start off in a chair right by baby's crib, and every night you move that chair a little bit farther away from the room so that they, gradually get used to you
Being
being
on their
further
own.
from them, which is great for
Yeah.
parents who maybe are currently having to lay next to their baby or toddler until they fall
Mm,
asleep. So that, you're still in the room with them, they can still see you, they get comfortable with you slowly being further away from them until they can eventually fall asleep with you out of the room is the end goal. And
yeah.
then for babies who or children, usually still in cribs, that are maybe a little bit more on the stubborn side,
My daughter,
because there are
yep.
those babies out there. There's a method called quick checks, which is I know a lot of people have heard of the Ferber method, but this is even a little bit more gentle than that, where parents actually pick the interval that they will you know, set their baby down, leave. Verber is a little bit harder because the interval increases and there's no control or flexibility. This is okay. I feel comfortable with a 3-minute timer or a 5-minute timer or 8
Ah,
minute timer.
I
So
have
it's
been doing that, and I
you
didn't
have,
even realize. So,
yeah.
just to cut you off completely and
No
rudely,
worries.
I'm so
Tell
sorry,
me.
but but with my 3-year-old, she's regressed lately. It's just been the
Mm-hmm.
last couple of months, all of a sudden, she wakes up, she needs dad or yeah, it's usually
Mm-hmm.
dad. So,
That's nice for
well, yeah,
you.
tough luck with it. That's nice. Um, but we have like and he was just so tired that he was just going in there and there's a spare bed in her room and he would just fall asleep in there. And then she would be in the cot and then it was just the habit, like, getting into it because it was
Mm-hmm.
just easier to just sleep, and then she would go back to sleep, and it's fine because dad's in there, but then he's in the other room all night, you know? Um, so I actually got up one night and I said, "We'll check on you in 5 minutes," and I came back in 5 minutes, um, and she was like, "Okay, okay," and she was still awake. So I said, "I'll come back in another 5 minutes. I'll check on you in 5 minutes." And she was asleep. And I'm like, "Okay." And so we
That's
just started doing that more.
perfect.
And now at nighttime when it's time to go to bed, she wants to have daddy in there or someone in there, and it's like, "No, no, 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 we're not going down this path. You
Mhm.
used to be able to sleep on your own, you're fine." But I just said, "I'll check on you in 5 minutes." And then she's like, "Okay." And now she started saying, "Just check on me in 5 minutes." And I'm like,
That's
"Yes."
so
Okay.
sweet.
So is that
I
kind of what
love
you're
that.
talking about?
You're doing great. Yeah, because
Oh,
you're creating those boundaries, like she needs to stay in her bed, right? But you're doing it
yep.
in a loving way. Like, I'm
Yeah.
here for you. I'm right here. Like, I'm not leaving you. I'm not abandoning you. I'll be
Yep.
back in
You're
5 minutes
safe.
if you need me. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're safe. Exactly. So that you're
Ah.
doing amazing.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even I was like, "We just cannot go backwards. I need my sleep.
Yes,
It's hard
and
enough with a
that's
baby."
exactly, and that's so important because sometimes parents will, and I've even been tempted myself, where she goes, "Just lay with me, mommy," and I've been tempted to do it, but I know if I do it once, it's gonna turn into
Yeah.
a habit, and then you
Yes.
have to break that habit, and that's really hard.
Yeah. And it is hard because you know that they're only little once and that time
Mhm.
goes so
It's
fast.
so
Like the night
special.
seems so long, but the years go so quick.
Mhm.
And so there are those moments when you think, okay, I'll just cuddle you because I need that.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to stop yourself and go, hang on a second. It's not about what I need in this moment. It's actually about what she needs. And I don't want to set her up to have bigger sleep issues, which then
Mhm.
in turn impacts me and the rest of the family and that too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's sometimes you have to put your own sort of needs aside as
Yeah,
well to help with them. But I love that.
for sure.
I could have done with you a long time ago though.
Aw. Well, I'm happy to help you through anything else. There is a regression at 3 years old too, so that's probably what she went through. My daughter went through it
Yep.
too, and it was rough.
It is rough. I don't remember it with my older two, but
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
sorry, continue.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make one comment too that if moms are or dads are laying with their babies and that works for them, or are feeding their babies to sleep and that works for them,
Yeah.
you can keep doing that. Like, if it
Yeah.
works for
It's
your
no
family,
shame.
that's okay. I'm not yeah, no shame.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna come in and say, "You need to do this," or "You need to do that." Like, I'm not
Yeah.
here to judge. I'm here to provide whatever support your family needs. Like,
Yeah.
maybe there's all different types of situations. Maybe,
Yeah.
you're okay with night wake ups, but you wanna get their naps better or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force my agenda
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah. No, I love that. And everyone has different priorities, different values, and all that when it
Mhm.
comes to kids and sleep. You get people right from the beginning that want to co sleep, and you get others like myself that will, I know that I won't get any sleep unless the baby is in its own crib.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we are all different and we
Mhm.
all have different values. And I love that you work with the parents and meet them where they're at. I think
Mhm.
that's very reassuring because I think there's enough stuff out there that judges and shames us. And it doesn't matter whether it doesn't matter if you bottle feed or breastfeed or you sleep with your child or you don't, or you're going to be shamed. You're doing it
Mhm.
wrong. There's enough
Mhm.
things out there. And it's so hard, particularly for the first time parents, to be able to
Yes.
just navigate all of it, to be honest. And it's hard enough without having the opinions of the world thrown at you. So,
Yeah, with the internet and social media.
oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think it's great that you just come in, personalize it, meet them where they're at, and just help them with whatever it is that they're struggling with the sleep, which is a really big thing. Oh, I love it. So, what do you find is the main thing that holds them back from being able to reach out for help or make the changes needed?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's, say, 2 or 3 main things. I think one is just the awareness and knowledge of what sleep training is, like what I talked about. It's not just cry it out. There's so many other ways of
Mm.
doing it. I think the second thing is the worry that it will damage your attachment or your bond with your baby and your child. And I think this is a
Mm.
really big concern in today's day and age, especially, but something that I tell moms is that your bond with your baby has been built over days, months, weeks, years, right?
Mm.
Say you've got
Yeah.
a 1-year-old. You've
It's
had
well established.
a year of time of love,
Yeah.
of cuddles, being
Yeah.
there for your baby, meeting their needs.
Mm.
So if there are 1, 2, 3, even 5 nights where
Mm.
it's a little rough and rocky, that
Yeah.
bond is not going to be broken. It
Yeah.
isn't, but, you've had a
That's
year and this
reassuring.
is 5 nights, not even days, 5 nights
Yeah.
out of that whole time, right?
Yeah.
And you can always reestablish in the morning you wake up and you give them love and cuddles and hugs and kisses.
Yes.
You know,
Plenty of
your
kisses.
yes, your baby knows that they are still loved. And then the third piece I touch on in my sleep plans actually too is the whole thing around responsive parenting, right? It's kind of
Mm.
a big keyword these days. And being a responsive parent really, if you break it down, really means you're responding to their needs. You're not
Mm.
responding to every little thing. You can,
Yeah.
but you're responding to their needs. And sometimes you as a parent know a little bit more about their needs maybe than they do in that maybe a little bit
Yeah.
emotional moment as a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
So before you put them down to bed, you're making sure all their needs are met, right? They're not hungry, their
Yeah.
diapers changed, they're in comfy
Clean. Yep.
clothes, they're safe, and you are responding to their biological need for sleep. That is what
Mm.
you're responding to when you do this sleep training. You're teaching them skill that they are going to be able to use for their entire life,
Yeah.
basically.
Yep.
If they have a hard time falling asleep now, then that usually continues for a
You see
while
it.
and until they
You
get
see it in
yeah,
adults now
yeah.
uh, that say, "Oh, I've always been a bad sleeper." Like,
Mhm.
from being right from birth, "I've always been bad," and they just accept that that's just how it is, and I certainly don't want that for my kids.
Yeah, yeah, you want them to grow up well regulated and have those skills
Yeah.
and all that kinda
Yep.
stuff, so I think those are kind of the main roadblocks that, try and chat with parents about and kind of relieve that anxiety a little bit.
Yeah, that's really good. I think out of everything that I'm hearing, I'm just hearing a lot of reassuring things.
Good.
I think as a parent, we can question whether we're doing it right, doing it wrong. I know there's not really a right or wrong as such, but you just wonder, even 4 kids in, I'm still learning and I still go, is there a better way of doing this? I don't know. But this is just really reassuring, but also even as a fourth time mum, I would still go to you and seek you for help.
Aw, thank you.
I'm not even going to pretend to know everything because every child is different. And I think I feel like there's almost this stigma that if you've got a second child or more, you should know what you're doing because you've already gone through it before. But every child is so different. And like I said, my first 3 slept really well, and my fourth one is just nuts. So it's like
So it
I
feels like a first child again
it
because it's something you've
does.
never experienced.
Yeah, exactly. And I just love that all of this has been really reassuring that it doesn't matter where you're at, how many kids you've got, what's going on. There is a method and there is a way to be able to get the help that suits you and your family. And I love that.
Mhm.
And what is one thing that you wish more women knew or more parents knew, dads as well?
Yeah, I think a couple things. I think the biggest one is it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask for support.
Yeah.
And I say that even to myself because I'm a pretty like independent, I can do it kind of person.
Yeah.
But when you're going through the trenches of early parenthood, I mean,
It's
even just
relentless.
parenthood in general,
Yeah.
it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
reach out, rely on your friends and family. They wanna be there for you just like you wanna be there for your friends and family, reach out to a postpartum doula, a lactation
Mm,
consultant, a sleep consultant, a feeding specialist, your pediatrician, a mental health therapist. Like, there are so many great resources out there for parents. You don't have to suffer in silence. So
yeah.
that is probably the piece of advice I would give.
Oh, and that's a really good piece of advice because I feel like I know for me, it's almost like I should know what I'm doing because I'm a female and it's built into me to have babies and I should just know what I'm doing. That's the kind of thought pattern I had, particularly with
Mhm.
my first one. And he never latched. I got the lactation consultant. Unfortunately, it didn't help in that
Mhm.
case. But then you go through the whole there's something wrong with me, all of that. And you start questioning. And even when it comes to sleep, you just think they should know what they're doing and I should know what I'm doing. It's biological, all of that. But
Mhm.
it's a maze. There's so much to figure out and work out, but why not learn from someone that is experienced in this area or
Yeah.
has walked that path? And I love that you are both trained and experienced as as a mum yourself in being able to help people. And sleep is honestly, it is the biggest thing. Like sleep deprivation messes you up. I know the times when I've been so extremely sleep deprived. It's almost like I felt like I was dying. I know that sounds so extreme, but I was going crazy. I couldn't think properly. There's no way I could drive safely or do anything. I just couldn't function.
Yeah, I mean, it's a biological need for your body, yeah, to function.
Exactly. And if you don't get enough sleep, you do die. If you don't sleep at all, it is so important for our health and our recovery and just
Yeah, just your
the
mental
whole
health,
works.
marriages, everything, relationships.
Yep. The relationships is a big one. It's such a strain, particularly in that first year with a baby. It's a big strain on a relationship. And what you're doing is just so so foundational, not just to the sleep of the baby, but to the health of a relationship and the health of an individual in being able to function and move forward. There's a lot of aspects to what you're doing. And I think it's fantastic that you've chosen this profession to help people. And I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Anyone who's listening that wants to be able to connect with you and also loves what you're doing and thinks, oh my gosh, I need Michelle, where can they find you?
Yes, I'm a couple different places. So, I have a website. It is sleepwellwithmichelle.com, and my Instagram handle also is at sleepwellwithmichelle. So I'd say those are probably the 2 places where you can
So
best find me.
catchy. That's easy to
Thanks.
remember. Sleep well with
Thank you.
Michelle. I love it. Well, the information will be in the description as well. So they can just click the link and they can get straight to you. But I have really enjoyed this conversation. I'm sorry I kind of hijacked it at a few points because I'm busting with so many questions and I just, I've loved learning from you and also realizing, oh, I'm doing a couple things right. So that's good. But
Yeah,
thank
for
you.
sure. You're welcome, and thank you so much. And one other thing I wanted to mention is I do have a code for any of your listeners. It
Yep.
is Beyond Organized 10, so 10% off any of my sleep consulting packages. And I spelled it with an
Beautiful.
S. So for anyone in the
Yes.
States, I spelled it with an S. How you spell it, Mel?
Yes. For all the Americans, Canadians, and that part of the world, sorry. I'm sorry to confuse you. It is Beyond Organized with an S here. I do it the English way. So thank you for that, Michelle. And yeah, make the most of that, guys. It's such a great offer. And to be able to work one on one with someone clearly as knowledgeable as Michelle and as caring, I would be jumping straight on that, and I'm probably gonna be reaching out to you myself, Michelle.
Aw, thank you so much, Mel. I really appreciate that.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming on the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.